Good morning and welcome to the new episode of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Yesterday, the annual Jamboree, which was in limbo for a couple of years because of COVID, started. And this is the third time I'm missing it because I've seen that World Economic Forum is neither concerned with the world nor with the economy. And what they profess climate change, they are least concerned with it. As a matter of fact, it's a prop for the like-minded people, honchos, filthy rich, to go on an ego trip, talk in a puerile manner, and act as if they are saved of the world. I don't deny that sometimes good discussions do take place. I remember I and Colin Powell, that time Secretary of State, together making a presentation, and that caused a lot of worry because what we talked was not to their liking. 2 years back, they interviewed me 3 times on video, and they released the videos, which are much appreciated. But looking at it, the whole thing stinks. 200 odd people going by the private jets have created so much of carbon emission that you can't believe it. On the one side, they are saying remove the gas stoves because they are harmful. Now there's a craze among the governments to ban the gas stoves. And on the other, each private jet causing so much of carbon emission, which I wrote in my article a few days back. But this annual Gab Fest, I call it a Gab Fest, a talk festival, in the Swiss resort town started. No, I don't say it's not let me be very clear, it's not a conspiracy to force a socialist welfare world government on the sovereign states of the world. It is much worse. It is what used to be called at one time a mutual admiration society. It's a gathering of the like-minded business, cultural, and political leaders, and they get together not to take orders from a cloaked coven of oligarchs, but rather to pat one another on the back and reassure themselves that they are superior both morally and intellectually, which they are not. How is it worse than a genuine plot to impose some new world order by stealth? This is because World Economic Forum has been transformed into a mindset, a pompous, pretentious mindset which denotes that nowadays culture woke rather than secret collusion. A mindset is much harder to dislodge. You can expose a conspiracy. You can destroy any clique, but a mindset cannot be changed that easily. And when you uncover a conspiracy, what happens? You can arrest the co-conspirators and end the cabal's influence rather quickly. There are some cabals which are still existing, like in USA, in Germany. I'll talk of them one day earlier. But the true believers in a mindset see themselves as both enlightened and benign. And unfortunately, they are not that. I remember reading C.S. Lewis, what he wrote. Of all the trainees, a trainee sincerely exercised for the good of the victim may be the most oppressive. It may be better to live it under the robber barons, than under omnipotent moral busybodies. And that is what Charles Schwab and his cohorts are in Davos. They are moral busybodies. The robber barons, stupidity and cupidity may at some time be satisfied. There's a limit to their greed, yes. But those who torment us for our own good will never stop tormenting us. It's without end, it's perpetual, it's everlasting. Because they are doing so with the approval of their own conscience. They think they are great. They are the word savior, which they are not. And their actions, like getting down to the walls from the different places of the world, and these 200 odd people, and they don't have to be given marching orders while in the wars. No. They don't have to be implanted with subliminal programming that can be switched on by hypnotic command once they return to their political capitals and corporate headquarters. Rather, what happens is that the public, the layman, is deluded into thinking that these are the saviors. And they come up with such zany programs. You remember there used to be a lot of talk about the ozone black hole, ozone hole. And now it has been admitted that this hole was more of a talk than the reality. So, to cover them up, they are now saying that this will be cured, this issue, the hole would be solved by 2040. Yes, that's what they're saying. So these people, these busybodies, what do? They are pompous talks and they are very scholarly talks. Let me be honest, very scholarly, very intelligent. But the main issue is mutual back thumping. The participants arrive in Switzerland. They are already confident of their benevolence. They are confident of the heaven-ordained, predetermined capability to share. And what do they share? Soft left beliefs. They are not hard left, they are soft left. They say welfare, but look at their empires. Their actions belie their words. Would their workers in the corporate circles be able to travel and live in the way they do? No, but they'll talk it. And then this has become a fashion in the Western world now. Climate alarmist, international cooperation, social justice, sustainability, diversity, inclusion and equality. So if I talk of each one of them, it might take me at least 1 hour on each subject. Climate alarmist. They blame India and China. But the biggest carbon emissions are in USA per capita, not the total. Indian population is 1,400 million. So their total emission will be more. But with 331 million people, per capita emission in USA is much higher. And then they fight the figures. Look at the international cooperation. We have seen how they manipulate, how they put up juggle the situation, take up fake evidence and start wars. That's international cooperation. What was the Iraq war? What was the Afghanistan war? Why did they supplant Shah Pahlavi in Iran? No reason. And then they talk of international cooperation. They talk of social justice. Look at the treatment of the Native Americans and the blacks. They talk of diversity. And just today morning, I was talking to Hamid Gill, who is wanting to be the chair of Republican Party in USA. And she was saying that since she belongs to Sikh religion, she is being derided and opposed. Is there diversity and inclusion and equality? Now, these 5 days, starting yesterday, continuing till Friday, will be an ego stroke for the politicians, like Justin Trudeau, who are regular attendees. And can you believe that what they talk, this insincerity seeps out of their talk? And these politicians would be surrounded by intellectuals who will feel discouraged, and billionaires who will assure them that they are the great leaders. That's a dichotomy of World Economic Forum. As a concept, it's a great concept. And as I said earlier, some of the talks are really great. Some of the discussions are humongous. But the implementation would be left to these politicians and the corporate heads who have no interest in implementing the real picture. Talk, fine, because you get votes and you get power. You can delude people. So these people, the billionaires assuring the politicians, and then they're treating themselves to the fabulous food and the finest adult beverages. I'm betting that the people who get most out of the divorce are the hoteliers and the food suppliers. Now the participants will return home at the end of the 5 days on Saturday. They start returning, re-energized to push the post-national, post-industrial claptrap that has already filled their heads before they left their home. I remember, or rather I can think of similarities between World Economic Forum and groups like McKinsey and Company and WE Charities, we. These three and many other similar pictures for the woke thinking, woke culture, they flourish by cozying up to the powerful and arrogant. Assure them that they are smart as they think they are. And then selling them boatloads of unicorn and rainbow theories which have no validity, no relevance, but they are there. McKinsey has been making much of the headlines in Canada for the last couple of weeks, and is probably the most influential, at least in this country. His senior consultant flicked in and out of the federal government, are appointed ambassadors of foreign countries, and have even headed World Economic Forum. The idea in Ottawa, as in Washington, as in London, as in Paris, that a massive immigration is the answer to the sustained economic prosperity. It's there, and the notion that our GDP would be increased 15% if we had a national daycare plan that encourages all women to work outside their home and leave the kids to the workers. That concept of the moms bring up the children, they want to kill that. And increasing your GDP by getting 1.5 million immigrants in 3 years is ridiculous. So the role of the World Economic Forum, we charity, we know how much they paid to the Prime Minister and his family. That was the charity, because charity begins at home. World Economic Forum started in a good taste, and with good intention. Charles Schwab had a very good intention of starting it. I have met him, I have talked to him, I am impressed by man's sincerity. But it has outlived its utility. It has become a paradise for the people who want to prove that they are the people who matter, these 200 people. And I'm very happy that Prime Ministers like Modi and others have not gone there. because it's not worth the time. As I said, it's not a conspiracy. Its members don't sit around a secret table, conference table, and drawing up megalomaniac schemes. No, they see themselves as God's gift to humanity, when in reality they are a burden to the society. Some are great entrepreneurs, but the real great entrepreneurs don't go there, the center of business, because they have to make a mark. But this nexus of the politicians and the corporate hunters, as evidence at Davos, is something that needs to be set right. Otherwise, the situation will go from bad to worse. And such forums would mislead people and create hazy situations which will become mistier and foggy, and the real action would not be taken. That's a tragedy, that the real action is missed in much talk. It's all sound and fury, signifying nothing.